Hello, in this video we're going to go over the exponent quotient rule or the division rule for exponents. So if dividing two expressions with the same base, so that means that the variable is the same or the number is the same, you subtract the exponents to simplify it. So let's look at these two examples. So our bases are the same. Our base is x. So to simplify it, I just need to subtract my exponents. So this is going to equal 7 minus 3. And 7 minus 3 is 4. So x to the 7th over x to the 3rd is actually equal to x to the 4th. Okay, let's do this example on the right. So we have two different variables, x and y, and so we can subtract the ones that have the same basis. So we can subtract the x's. So we have x to the 8th minus 5 for our x's, and our y's are going to be 4 minus a negative 2. So 8 minus 5 will give us x to the 3rd. And then we have 4 minus a negative 2. So that's going to turn into positive. So it's going to be y to the 6th. So that would be our final answer for this one. All right. So let's go to the next example. So if you have coefficients or numbers in front of your fraction, reduce if possible. So 2/4, that is going to simplify to 1/2. So 1/2, I have x to the 5th over x to the negative 3, y to the 8th over y to the 7th. Okay, so from here, we still have the 1/2. Subtract your exponents. So I have x 5 minus negative 3. And then we have y to the 8th, 8 minus 7. From here, we're going to have 1/2, 5 minus negative 3. Remember, you're going to add when you have a double negative. So 5 plus 3 is x to the 8th. And then 8 minus 7 is just 1. So we can write y or y to the first power. So this right here is our final answer. Okay, negative exponents. Generally, when we're simplifying, we don't like to have negative exponents. So your final answer should only have positive exponents. So to make an exponent positive, you move the negative exponent. So if it's in the denominator or the bottom of your fraction, move it to the top and it will become positive. Move negative exponents in the numerator or the top of your fraction to the denominator. Okay, so let's simplify this one. So we have x to the 9th over x to the 7th, so that's going to be 9 minus 7, and then for y we have 6 minus 8. Okay, 9 minus 7, that's going to give you x squared. Y, so for a y we have 6 minus 8, which is negative 2. Uh-oh, we have a negative exponent, and like we just said before, we don't like to have negative exponents. So that's going to turn out to be x squared, And then I'm going to make this a fraction. Instead of having y on the top of the fraction to make a positive, I just have to move it down. So it becomes y squared. So combination problems are problems that use the quotient rule, so the rule that for division, and the product rule that we learned in the previous lesson. So for problems that use the product rule and quotient rule, first, in the numerator and denominator, combine exponents with the same base using the product rule. Then you'll use the quotient rule, and then move to make exponents positive if needed. So those are the steps you're going to follow. So let's look at this first example. So we're first going to do the product rule on top. We have coefficients on the top, so we need to multiply them. 3 times 2, that's 6. And with your x's, I have x to the 6th and x to the 4th, so add them. That becomes x to the 10th. Y to the 7th plus y squared, that is going to be y to the 9th. Okay, I have 6x squared y to the 15th on the bottom. Okay, look at your coefficients. These can be simplified. 6 divided by 6 is 1, so they cancel out. Okay, and then let's look here. 10, we are now using the quotient rule, so we can subtract our exponents. 10 minus 2 is x to the 8th, and 9 minus 15 would be y to the negative 6. We have a negative exponent, so we're going to write it as a fraction, x to the 8th, and to make this positive, we move it downstairs in our denominator, so we get y to the 6th. And this would be the final answer. Okay, let's look at this example. So we're first going to multiply, use the product rule, so multiply your coefficients, so that's 36. Okay, our x's, so 7 plus negative 3, that would be x to the 4th. Then our y's would be 6 plus negative 6, which would be y to the 0. Okay, z to the 0 plus z to the 4th would be z to the 4th. And then we have x to the 8th over z cubed. Okay, so with our 36, we're going to keep 36 here. We're going to subtract our exponents. So 4 minus 8 gives you x to the negative 4. Y to the 0, remember y to the 0 is just 1, so that just disappears. And 4 minus 3 is 1, so that's just 1z. So I don't need to write the exponent. I have a negative 4 on x, so I'm going to rewrite it as 36z over x to the 4th. And that is my final answer.